Richardson. Elaine Thompson Hurrah. Shelly Ann Fraser Price. Uh, Tiana Daniels. Shoot, who else is in here? Cambucci. Um, uh, Marie Jose Talu. And let's see who else is in here. Javian Oliver. That's Tiana Daniels. Let me see who else is in here. And Cambucci, and I forgot who this is. Let me go back and look at her. Who's that? Williams? That might be Williams. I'm not sure who this is, but this is Cambucci. This is Jose Talu, Hurrah, Richardson, Fraser Price. This is the third Jamaican that won. So 1, 2, 3 won in Tokyo. And yeah, so that's the lineup pretty much. ShaCarri Richardson is still, I think, the sixth fastest woman ever. And this is her first time back after, what, 9 weeks or so. It's her first run. But let me say this about Richardson. Richardson crossed the line. It was on this track, actually. And when she crossed the line, she was going to the Olympics, and she said, "I'm an effing Olympian." And of course, they didn't, they kind of held that out, but you didn't hear her say it, but you could see her lips move. Now, of course, she's the one who had the ban because of smoking weed, and she said she did that because of her mother, who had just passed, and she was under stress, so she was smoking weed. Okay, fine, you were smoking weed, but you knew the rules before the Olympics. You can't do such things, so they banned her. And she was not able to compete in the Olympics. But here's the thing, they could have banned her a lot longer than that. Now, I'm saying all this because Houlihan, who runs the mile, got banned for 4 years. Houlihan is a white woman who got banned for 4 years because she ate a burrito and it had a substance in it that you're not allowed to have in your system. They banned her for 4 years, and she's in her 30s. So Houlihan is not going back to the Olympics. That is it for her. She's not going back. They banned ShaCarri Richardson for a few weeks when they could have banned her a lot further. And I can't show you this without being, some kind of copyright strike, but I can click through it now. This is the race. Now, I want to say, when you go and you look at World Star and you look at this race, dissect ShaCarri Richardson's start. For one, you can see it right here. She has gone from the center to the left side of the lane. She nearly runs out into Shelly Ann Fraser Price's lane. I want you to notice that. She eventually takes a few steps back and corrects herself. But when you look at when all three of these are, this is the fastest starter in the world right here. When you look at where all three of these are, and when this race comes up to here, she lost the race right there and then. Boom. Just simply because she ran, she wasn't running crossbody. It's almost like she didn't catch her balance. Now, we've seen Usain Bolt do the same thing. We've seen him do the same thing, but Usain Bolt is on another level than anybody. Anyways, so ShaCarri Richardson loses her speed from that mistake. And in this race, you don't have time to correct yourself. Sharika Jackson, that's her name. You don't have time to correct yourself because anything can make you lose speed, and that's it in the world of sprinting. She corrects herself too late, and she figures she was out of the race, so she didn't even try. And if you don't know anything about ShaCarri Richardson, she is masterful when it comes to the 70 to the 100 mark. But here, she doesn't even try. Look at her knee lift. She's not even trying. She has some of the best upward mechanics of anyone's. If you want to tell the difference between somebody who's not trying and somebody who is, this is Elaine Thompson Hurrah. Look at her knee lift. A lot of your power comes from your knee lift. Look at the angle of her knee. Look at the angle of Richardson at full stride. It's pretty much over. You can see, look at the angle here of Javian Oliver. Look at her knee lift. You can tell who's trying and who isn't. These women are running at full speed. ShaCarri Richardson is not. She pretty much had given up. Now, of course, the race later illustrates how much speed she lost. And I'm going to tell you something else about this race. Some people are looking at ShaCarri and going, oh, you just came in dead last. But they are slightly missing some facts about this race. For one, she hasn't ran in a minute. For two, she's racing the fastest woman in the entire world. This is Elaine Thompson Hurrah. Elaine Thompson Hurrah in this race, before this race, ran a 10.6.1. She ran faster than Flojo in the Olympics. But Flojo's all-out time is 10.47. It's the fastest female human has ever ran on track. In this race, Elaine Thompson Hurrah runs a 10.51. They're moving a lot faster than what you think. And it's easy to get discouraged after you lose your footing in a race to this group right here. To this group right here, it's easy to get discouraged and say this race is over. So I'm not really mad that she came in dead last when these girls are all at their top performance. This is 1, 2, and 3 on the Olympic podium. Okay, and you see how close they are? Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce ran a 10.7 flat. Okay, and if you don't know, 10.7 flat is the meet record. These women are flying, is what I'm saying. Tiana Daniels ran a 10.85. She ran the fastest she ever ran, ever. She's never beaten ShaCarri Richardson. Never. And she's the only American who was in the Olympics. Okay? You have to understand how quick these women, they dragged Tiana Daniels to her best time. And not too long ago, a 10.85 would win. Okay, this is a new day. This is new speed that we're looking at. So this is not some punk-ass race when people want to make it seem like, oh, it's nothing. And I'm going to tell you something. Marie-Josée Talu, her fastest is like 10.85 or something like that, too. Or somewhere around there. She's quick. Cambucci and Williams. Williams has never beaten ShaCarri Richardson. And they came out the same time. I think they even had the same coach, which is Otto Bowden. Is that? Yeah, I think they did. I know Otto Bowden is coach of Williams. So this is not just some okie doke group of women who came out and ran. These are the top sprinters. There's only 1 or 2 other sprinters in here who are missing that can handle that time. And one of them is the Dutch woman, even though she hasn't been running that fast in 100. So we'll just count her out. Maybe Smith, Dina Asher-Smith, runs a 10.85. She got her clock cleaned in the Olympics. Look, these are just the fastest women in the world. And if you ain't on your game and you make a simple mistake like ShaCarri Richardson did at the beginning of this race, it's lights out. If you don't run straight down the track at full force, you can easily miss your step and they'll run right past you. And it's not like they're running faster than you. It's you're decelerating. Now, here's my biggest issue with ShaCarri Richardson. You lost the race. Okay, fine. But I told people, I said, listen, Thompson didn't even know how fast she ran until they came and told her. Yeah, that's Jody Williams. And they're all in shock. When they see the time that flashed up there, they look at Shelly and Fraser, look at her face, like, wait, what? And you're walking over to your competitor, like, do you know how fast you just ran? Like, none of them can believe the time that just came out of Thompson Hurrah. Not to mention, people, Thompson Hurrah was injured not that long ago. This is why Shelly Ann Fraser Price was the favorite in the Olympics. She was the favorite because she ran like a 10.61 or something like that. 10.6 something. She ran super fast. But none of these women, these are all 10.8 and under women. None of them could believe how fast she just ran because she ran in the 10.5s. And the reason why that is because nobody has done that since FloJo. Now the time that FloJo has ran is being threatened. This is the overall time. Yeah, my phone had died. This is the overall time that FloJo had ran. Now it's being threatened. See, when FloJo ran that time, she was under great scrutiny. This race right here was so important for more than just ShaCarri Richardson. When FloJo ran that time, people thought FloJo was on drugs. They went after her. They really did go after FloJo for running so fast. She ran at like a 10.47. They were just like, no, you're on drugs. And she was like, no, I'm an athlete. Now they're looking at Thompson Hurrah. And they're not going, oh, you're on drugs. They're going, oh, no, you're really just fast. And she did it with ease. And if you look at Thompson Hurrah's race, straight ahead, if you can look at the angle, straight ahead, her coming right at you, you're going to see her arms never cross her body. It is a perfect race. Her knee lift was perfect. Her acceleration was perfect. And she would have never ran this fast if it wasn't for Shelly Ann Fraser Price. That's how speed works. She would have never ran that fast if it wasn't for Shelly Ann Fraser Price. And ShaCarri Richardson thought that everybody was running fast because of her. No, they don't need you there to run fast. They just need somebody there who's running at those speeds. Listen, another person who ran in the 6.1s wasn't even in this race and or in the Olympics. So it's not just Thompson Hurrah who's running these sick times. You had three women run in the sixes this year. That has never been done. It's like all of a sudden everybody is super fast. The third person is Blessing Okabari. Okay? The African. So let's just get this straight. This was a fast race, and it's going to get faster. And that's why I was like, well, wait a minute, people. You're focusing on the wrong thing. You're not focusing on the fact that this woman just ran in the fives. She can run in the fours if Shelly Ann, listen, Shelly Ann Fraser Price was right on her heels and she ran a 10.7 flat. I mean, to better understand this, you can go back and look at Usain Bolt's race when he ran against Tyson Gay. And Usain Bolt ran uh, he ran a 10, he ran a 9.58. And when he ran a 9.58, everybody was just so astounded. Well, I was looking at second place. Second place was Tyson Gay. He ran the fastest time any American has ever ran. And he's tied with the second fastest man ever. See, there's just the speed force is just amazing. And once you get a group of people in it's just amazing. And that's just what happened. And during that Usain Bolt race, you had Tyson Gay, you had Asafa Powell, Usain Bolt, and they all did the same thing that just happened. It's the speed force, people. But anyway, back to ShaCarri Richardson. There's Cambucci. Like I said, none of them can believe how fast she ran. And then Thompson just like, whoa, wait a minute. ShaCarri Richardson makes the cardinal mistake during her interview, and this is what saddens me because she does the wrong thing. And you have to understand this is an international stage. And I'm going to show my face. I'm not going to show her doing this. So I'm going to turn this around. And we're just going to take a listen. I'm gonna tell you why this is a big mistake, and she could easily not be on a stage this big again.
She came out here today to face these ladies from the Olympic Games.
Coming up today, it was a great return back to the sport. I wanted to be able to come and perform. Having a month off, dealing with all I was dealing with. I'm not upset at myself at all. This is one race. I'm not done. You know what I'm capable of. Tell me out if you want to. Talk all the shit you want. Because I'm here to stay. I'm not. I'm the sixth fastest woman in this game ever. And can't nobody ever take that from me. Congratulations to the winners. Congratulations to the people that won. But they're not done seeing me yet. Period.
All right. Thank you, ShaCarri.
Thanks, Lewis. We do
No.
apologize for the colorful language from ShaCarri, but
You hear that? And I'm gonna tell you why that's a big mistake. I'm gonna tell you because I've been following track for a long time because I used to run. He said, "We apologize for the colorful language of ShaCarri Richardson. They should never have to apologize for the colorful language of anybody on a stage this big. Never. This is an international stage that you're talking about, and everybody listens to it, kids and everything. So they never want anybody to do what ShaCarri just did. ShaCarri was upset." Fine, upset, but you got into your feelings. That's a big mistake. And I'm going to show you where this has hurt other sprinters. Back in the day where Green and Otto Bolden and all those guys are running ridiculous times, the fastest man in the world was actually Green during that time. But another guy who came along and won the Olympics actually was from Canada. And I forget what his name is, tall, bald head guy. Donovan Bailey is what his name was. And what Donovan Bailey did was he was talking junk against Michael Johnson. You can go back and look at the interview. When he talked junk against Michael Johnson, once again, it was an international stage. And the things he said, not everybody needed to hear. And once he did that, I just looked at him and I was just like, well, you just ended your career. Why? Because of endorsements. Nobody wants to endorse somebody who's out there cursing. Not unless you're on the football field. But out here on track, no. Listen, people who run track know that most of your money doesn't come from winning track. It comes from people who endorse you. Comes from Nike, it comes from Puma, that's where your money comes from. Case in point, Usain Bolt was a great and colorful figure, even when he lost. Even in his last race, he lost. He still had a great attitude. People wanted him to win, and they were from other countries. Their countrymen was running against him, but they still want him to win. Why? Because of the way he celebrated. He celebrated life. He celebrated track. He had a gimmick to him. Everybody wanted him to win. He would do the whole lightning bolt. You know how much money he made in 1 year? $21 million in 1 year. And he did it by endorsements. ShaCarri Richardson has cut herself off from that. Smoking weed and then cursing, these are all bad things you shouldn't do. And it just would not surprise me if she had a very short career because of it. And I really wanted to see her. I really wanted to see what she can do because I just don't think she's finished when it comes to how fast she can be. But she's making a lot of big mistakes and it's hurting her. It's your boy Tone too. You guys got any questions you can ask me? Tiff, yeah. My phone died, and that's the reason why the live ended. My phone died. But I did hit you up on your Facebook. I hit you up on your Facebook Messenger. So you can look on there. I don't know how often you're on Facebook, but I hit you up on Facebook. But yeah, I feel sorry for ShaCarri, and it hurts the sport too. ShaCarri's, we haven't had somebody we haven't had somebody that fast in America since FloJo. And now we had a challenger to the Jamaicans, and it's always been us and the Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying? Canada would come out of nowhere. I mean, Italy just won the 100 in the men's 100. Italy. It's just like, where'd that come from? I mean, they came out and kicked booty, you know. They ran a 980. That's fast, okay? Every now and then Canada will come out of nowhere, but the majority of time, it's the Americans and it's the Canadians and or the Americans and the Jamaicans, and it's usually no one else that, not usually, it's 70% of the times, you know that's where the competition is, and it just makes me sad because the other American women, none of them can touch ShaCarri Richardson. None of them. They're not even close to her speed. Uh, None of them are running under eights. They're not running 10-8 anything. I mean 10-7 anything. The majority of them, hell, shoot, Williams is still running in the, well, she ran in 10-9-8 as her fastest time, which is fast as hell. But when you turn around and run a 10-6 and you're just got into the game, there's nobody who is as fast as you are, but she's killing her own self. So, but like I said, if you guys got any questions for me or anything like that, somebody asked me to make this video. That's why I made it. So yeah, Tiff. I don't know if you're still here or not, but I hope what I was talking about earlier is going to help you out, Tiff. And like I said, I hit you up on Facebook. So, if you want to exchange like emails or number or something like that, that's fine. Maybe it can help you out some other kind of way. Chicago's a rough place, so, you know. But yeah, I don't really have too much else to say about ShaCarri. Just, she's hurting her own self. All that talent, you can take the girl out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the girl. It's bad. It almost makes me wish we had. Okay, so let me say this. There is another female who has beat ShaCarri. There's a few girls who beat ShaCarri, but there's a one other girl who's younger than her who has beaten ShaCarri. She was in the trials and pulled out in the 100 and the 200. Her name is ShaCarri Davis, and she, like I said, she's younger. She was already in the trials, and I have no idea why they pulled her out of the trials. She is the next American hope to me as far as speed is concerned. She's the next speed queen. She's ridiculous. Her times, I mean, she's beating people who are way older than she is. And she's just a beautiful runner, powerful, just a great kid. And I think I don't even know if she's 16 yet, but she is a powerful, powerful runner. And she's very humble too. And she has, the thing about ShaCarri Davis is she has a lot of things that are going for her. Her family unit is just her mom, dad, and her coach. ShaCarri Davis' coach is a very smart man. Very, very smart, because they don't try to run her to death. They just let her do her. And they let her be a girl. You know what I'm saying? They don't put any pressure on her. And she has a great attitude. So I could see Davis coming out and start to compete against these women, uh, and do a lot like Flojo Kid and start getting herself, some money behind her. I'm surprised she hasn't already. But like I said, just like Flojo Kid did, who ran a 10.98 and as a teenager and beat. She's the fastest kid in the world, but when she got to the Olympic trials, she didn't do very well. And then she got to these Olympic trials and did not do very well either. She gained some weight. She got injured. Well, she got injured and then she gained weight. And she's trying to bring her speed back up. But now, if you're not running in the 10.8s, you're not going to advance to the Olympics. It's just not going to happen. So some of these young ladies are still running in the 11s, run like 11:01 or something like that. And that's cool up until the rest of the world gets involved. And then when the big guns come out, if you're not even, I mean, if you never ran a 10.8 and you're still running 10.9s, then you're just gonna be, you're gonna be left. You're gonna look like ShaCarri. Just look, you're gonna be standing still. Because there's just so much that goes into these speed queens and how they got that way and things along that line. And they're very serious. Another thing about uh, Thompson, Fraser Price, a lot of these other speed queens is their demeanor. You never seen okay, Thompson got hurt and then she came back and started running. You never heard anything bad about her. Shelly Ann Fraser Price was dominating the whole time. You never heard Thompson say anything out of line. When you're seeing Thompson Hurrah win and now Fraser Price, you never, these girls go up and they hug each other. And it's not, some fake whatever. They go up and they genuinely This is what they want to see. They don't want to see your attitude. They go up and they hug each other. They're because they know they're on an international stage. So it's different. So I think Shakari just needs to grow up a little bit. But yeah. Anyway, it's your boy Tom too. God loves you. So do I. Peace.